Hello and welcome to the Lesbian Lounge, a podcast for the girls who like girls. I'm your host and your resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to answer your guys' questions, give advice on your dilemmas, and of course, chat about your wildest lesbian dating stories. So grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome into the Lesbian Lounge. Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back sitting down chatting with you all. Feels like it's been a while. It hasn't. Obviously, there has been episodes. We've had a few guests on recently, so I feel like I've had breaks in between filming. But shout out to you all for the love on last week's episode. Literally, I woke up on Thursday morning, checked the downloads, and they were skyrocketing. So you guys clearly were invested in all the gossip and all the drama from first dates. So shout out Jenny and Saoirse for coming on the podcast and spilling all the tea, all the drama, all the gossip with us. And I was going to say, I'm sure you guys loved it, but I know you did because of the messages, because of the downloads, the numbers. Those numbers don't lie. So keep it up, guys, when it's just me. Give me those numbers, please. Thanks. How are we all doing? I feel like I've got so much to fill you all in on. So you know what, let's just cut the crap. I'm just going to go straight into it. Let's start with the Renee Rapp debrief. Okay, so last week, Wednesday morning, we drive down to Manchester. Lucy's driving. I'm passenger princessing. Of course, would you have it any other way? What is the point in having a masked girlfriend if you don't get to be the passenger princess? Am I right? So, passenger princessing, we drive to Manchester. We stop off, well, in Manchester, we get to Manchester, but our first stop is a dress shop because I had found this dress shop online that I loved and I wanted to try some of the dresses on. So, went, tried some dresses on, ended up coming away with a gorgeous dress, which was exciting. So, bless, little Lucy was so, out of her comfort zone, just sitting in this dress shop, looking around. I was like, oh, see if you like any dresses, I'll try them on. And she was just like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I just see lots of sparkles. But bless her, she's such a good egg. So we bought a dress and then we drove straight to the hotel. We stayed at the Leonardo Hotel, Manchester Central. It was pretty close by. There was a car park down the road, which cost £13 for 24 hours. I don't know if that's good or bad, but when you've got a car, you've got to park it somewhere, right? So we were in that hotel. Was great. Shout out that hotel. Really liked it. Great venue, great location, really close to loads of shops and loads of places for food. So we spent a bit of time in the hotel. So basically, I'd edited last week's episode, but I told you all that we had a bit of an issue with some of the sound and Saoirse's video. So I was trying to figure out how am I going to edit this? What's going to look good? I don't want it to look weird. So I'd still had a little bit of work to do. So I sat in the hotel and just got a little bit of the editing done and then got it sitting and uploading whilst we left the hotel. I just left my computer there, obviously. Wasn't going to take my computer to Renee Rapp hi guys, I'm just working on the Lesbian Lounge podcast. So got that all uploaded and we went out for some food at the Gino de Campo restaurant. Genuinely 10 out of 10 experience. Highly recommend. There was a Pizza Express nearby and I can't really remember what else, but you guys know me, I'm an Italian girl through and through. If there's an Italian restaurant, that's where I'm going. So we went to Gino de Campo and yeah, honestly, gorgeous. I had margarita pizza, obviously. Lucy treated herself to a fillet steak and then we both had a dessert each as well. It was really filling and tasted really good. We then went for a drink somewhere else and we played a game of darts and then we were like, okay, now's an acceptable time to head over to the AO Arena, which is the one inside of Manchester Victoria Station. Now, literally when we were driving down, we were still in Newcastle at this point, and I was scrolling on TikTok before we left and genuinely saw that people were already queuing for this concert, and I thought, holy shit, that is dedication. I mean, for me, the thought of being stuck at that barrier doesn't appeal to me, because if you need a wee, you're absolutely screwed. And I know what I'm like. I get wee anxiety. If I know I'm not going to be able to wee, I'll need a wee more because I know I can't have it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, the thought of being stuck there and squished and people pushing behind you. And if you're that close to the stage, you're sort of looking up like this and you twisting your neck all night to actually see what's going on. But yeah, we were literally in Newcastle at the time. People were queuing to get into the concert. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, fair enough, you crack on. So I think doors opened about 6:30 and we probably got there at 6:15. We literally walked into the venue. There wasn't much of a queue, to be fair. It was kind of like there was lines going up the stairs, but then once you were up the lines, it kind of just like all merged together. You went through like the metal detector scanner mabob things, and then we were just sort of like in this open space, and we were like, where do we go? And then some lady just shouted like, if you're standing tickets, come this way. So we were like, okay, we'll go that way. And then there was a big queue looping around, so I was like, okay, I'll do my wee, because I knew as soon as I was in there, I'd get wee anxiety. So I went for my wee, and Lucy rings me like, where are you? Like, the queue's going down really fast, like, hurry up. So I ran back to the queue, and then there was a little bit of a hold up. And I'm not joking, like, I'm one of them Karens in a queue. Like, don't push in front of me, don't be an arsehole, just wait your turn. Anyway, this group of like, I'm going to say like at least 20 plus people ran down, and there was a queue to get in this door and a queue to get in this door, and then there was like some open space in the middle but no door. These people just ran into that space, and everyone was looking around like, what are they doing? And they were trying to push in front, and like I turned around and said something to them, because I was like, they wouldn't have got in front of me and Lucy from where Lucy and I were in the queue to where they tried to push in. But I thought, this queue is looping round. Like, it is so unfair to the people who have stood there queuing for you just to try and push in. So I turned around and was like, guys, do you realise there is a queue? Like, it is so unfair. And they're like, well, we were in the wrong queue upstairs. Like, we've been told to come down here now. And I was like, it's not really the people behind me's fault that you were in the wrong queue and now you're going to push in and get a better view than they are. Anyway, they ended up just like pushing past everyone, and I was livid at this point. I just thought, don't be an arsehole. Like, just wait in the queue. It's so fucking rude. Anyway, because I think they must have been given their wristbands already. So they just like pushed through and literally spranced to the front of the stage. And I was like, it's actually giving dramatic. But I did see the TikTok of like when they first opened the doors, and it was like, let's go lesbians, let's go. Because everyone just ran forwards. People were falling over. It was insane. But anyway, Lucy and I just took a leisurely stroll. And honestly, we ended up pretty much like bang smack centre, which I was thrilled about. Like right in the centre, probably the whole centre of the room. Like we had the centre of the stage, but the centre of the room as well. I was really happy with our view, made friends with a couple of cute lesbians who were stood around us, so shout out, because they said they were going to come listen to the podcast, so shout out. Oh my god, I can't remember their names, it's really embarrassing, but there was a couple and then two that I confused for being a couple, and I was like, hey, we don't judge. If you're mask on mask, we accept that here. So shout out if that was you. And then, oh my god, Lucy then had an argument with someone because this really, really tall girl, and I get it, like, you can't help being tall, Lucy can't help being small, but anyway, this really tall girl just pushes past and was like, oh, like, my friend's just in front. And obviously, you know, you're not going to say, no, you can't come past. We're like, okay, yeah, whatever. But then she just stopped right in front. It actually wasn't in front of Lucy. It was in front of this mum and daughter who were stood next to us. And it was actually the mum who said something first. She was like, you can't stop here. Like, if you're going to your friend, go to your friend. If you're not going to your friend, fuck off to the back, basically. And she was like, you know, we now can't see because you've stood in front of us and you're really tall. And she was like, babe, I can't help being tall, babe. And then Lucy goes, well, I know you can't help being tall, but like, you can't just stop in front of us. You didn't wait. Like, it's just etiquette, isn't it? Like, you just naturally filter in. Like, if you come in last, you're going to be near the back. If you come in first, you're going to be near the front. It's just etiquette to me anyway. And she goes to Lucy like, but babe. And I was going to be like, don't call her babe, who do you think you are? But then like everyone around us like was like, this is unfair. Like, you clearly don't have a friend that you're waiting for, or you would have just walked to find your friend, because everyone happily would have let you through, but we just weren't going to let you stop and stand directly in front of us. So anyway, she then ended up going back, and then we saw her again after the concert, and I was like, oh my god, because I hate confrontation. Like, I don't like being a Karen, I don't like confronting people, but I just think it was more like the fact, like, I didn't care for me, I more cared like for the people who'd queued behind me, I more cared for Lucy, for her being able to see, even though she wasn't really that fussed about going to see Renee Rapp. But I was very excited, and it was a really, really good concert. So let's have a little concert recap. So started off with the support act, which was Absolutely, who's Ray's sister. I'd never heard of her, never heard of her music, but honestly, she has such a beautiful voice, and she was just such a sweet human. Like, she was so grateful. I mean, she had a few fans in the audience who obviously know her work, and she just was like, oh my god, like, people singing along, like, everyone was doing their torches. It was just really sweet to see that. And yeah, she's got some great songs, so check them out. And then, of course, Miss Renee Rapp came on, sang some absolute bangers. It was a great concert, apart from the fact that people kept fainting. Now, I get it. It was hot in there. Maybe people hadn't had enough to drink if they'd been in the queue since God knows what time. But there's nothing worse than she's just getting to the good bit of a song and it's like, can we just get the house lights up real quick? And everyone was like, oh my God. And it happened like for the 10th time and everyone was just like, for fuck's sake, like we just want to hear you sing. We don't, obviously we care that somebody might need help, but like we don't want you to keep stopping singing. It's not what we paid money to see. But obviously hope everybody who did pass out was okay. But then I saw on TikTok, apparently people were like filming themselves passing out just so they could get a reaction, a video of this interaction that Renee would then have with them. So they would like be like filming and be like, oh, I passed out. And then Renee would be like, oh my God, like house lights up, are you okay? Like everybody make a pass for her. Go on, sweetie. Like they just wanted to record that so they could be like, oh my God, guys, like I passed out and Renee Rapp spoke to me and I got it all on video. But like they would just pretending to pass out to get away, like to get a video with Renee. So I think that's a bit shit if that was you. Like that's embarrassing. Get a grip, get a life. Yeah, it was a really good concert. Lucy said her only critique was that she wished Renee was wearing less clothes because she wore like a zip-up jacket and some cargo trousers. And Lucy was like, I would have liked it more if she wore less clothes because she was doing all the sexy dancing. Her and her guitarist were having a great time. And Lucy was like, I'd love to be her guitarist. No, it was a good night, good vibes. I actually got my Renee Rapp t-shirt on. I just bought one of the little snidey outside ones because the queue for merch was long and the merch is expensive and I didn't really like it. There was like a yellow shirt and a pink shirt, whereas the one I've got is like a beige like I'm wearing and it's like a little star and it says bite me with a picture of Renee on and all the tour dates on the back, and it was £15 instead of £30. So Lucy bought it for me after the concert, shout out. Anyway, the next day we just had a really fun little day in Manchester. Went out for some breakfast, we went out shopping, we bought a house plant, which Pearl has kind of eaten a lot of. So I think we've decided we won't be able to have plants in our house. And that was a perfect segue to talk about the house. Oh my God, you guys, I have been dying to tell you all this. So I think last time I spoke to you, I said, it's going to be a while till we have a house update. Obviously, we found this house in Sunderland that we loved, put an offer in, had the offer accepted. We started packing up our houses. They started packing up their house. And we were just waiting and waiting and waiting to be told, like, okay, here's the completion date, here's the moving date. We then were told, okay, the house that they were buying, somebody died, so they couldn't get a signature off them, so it was going to go into probate. They didn't know how long that could take. Were we willing to wait? And we said, you know, like we will be patient, and we have been patient for a good few months now, but would you consider moving into rented accommodation so we can get all our stuff in? You know, we've ordered a sofa, a dining room table, like a side of drawers. We've ordered a lot of stuff that kind of needs to come. We keep delaying it. So we were like, if you would move into rented, it would do us a big favour not having to put things in storage and being able to get everything into the house. They said no. We asked them on 4 different occasions. Like, we asked them personally. The solicitors asked them. I think the estate agents asked them, and I think we sent them a text as well being like, just would you consider it? And it was always a no, 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 no. So we were kind of sitting around waiting, like, we don't know how long this is going to take, because they then decided to pull completely out of that house and start looking again. Now, it can take months, maybe even years, to find the perfect house for you, you know, because they didn't want to just like buy any house. They wanted to make sure they had the right house for them. So we were like, okay, just to cover our backs, we are going to start looking at other properties. I really didn't want to, because I had my heart set on this house that we'd found, but with a bit of help from friends and Lucy and a bit of a push, it was like, no, we need to start looking, because they could be stringing us on for another year here if they just keep saying, we haven't found the right house, we haven't found the right house. And we also thought if they don't find the right house, they might just decide to take their house off the market and go, fuck it, we'll just stay here. So we started looking, and one thing we'd never looked at initially was new builds. So we were like, let's have a look at a few new builds. And I'm trying to think if the new build we went to was the first one we viewed. I think it might have been. We viewed 2 plots. Actually, we drove at night to 1 plot, which we didn't end up getting. And then we went to see this new plot. So all still in Sunderland. We've had a little look at a few. And obviously the good thing with new builds is you can go and see the show home, so you know what it's going to look like, or what it could look like, because obviously the houses are still getting built. But what we found is a few new builds, say like the houses are called the Windermere and the Grassmere and I'm trying to think of another name. Okay, whatever. Say you're buying the Windermere, they might not have a showroom of the Windermere close by. So one house, I think it actually might have been the Windermere or the Grasmere that we were looking at. And we were like, where's the nearest showroom? And they were like, Sheffield. So if we wanted to actually go and see this house, like physically see the house, go inside, see what the layout was like, we'd have to drive to Sheffield. Whereas the one we've ended up going for, they had a showroom of the house. It's a Moresby, a Barratt Homes Moresby. They had a showroom of it in Hebburn. So what we did was we went to the showroom in Hebburn. We looked around the house. We really liked the layout, everything like that. So then we went to the estate where we found this Moresby house, and we actually ended up getting to go and have a look at it. So it was really helpful being able to compare sort of like the bare bones of a house to the showroom. So we know, oh, okay, so that's where the TV is, and that's where they had the sofa, and the dining room table would go here, and that's where the fridge and etc. would be. So we went to view that one, and we fell in love. We did view quite a few others because we wanted to make sure that was 100% the house we wanted. Did we still want to go with the other house? Because by this time they'd got back to us and said, listen, we have found a property that we like, so let's get the ball moving. But then we were thinking, hang on, we really now like the sound of a new build. There's quite a lot of incentives with buying a new build, and because the one that we've ended up getting, because yes, we have got one, the one we ended up getting came with quite a few extras because it's the last one available on the plot. It's quite a small plot, only 64 houses, I think. So it's one of the last ones, well, it was the last one available. So they've thrown in a few upgrades just to sort of get the house gone. So we've got like a deposit boost, we've got a dishwasher, we've got a washer dryer, we've got a fridge freezer, we've got extra tiling and little bits like that, just that made it a bit more like, oh my god, like this is so exciting. So yeah, we have got ourselves a Barratt Homes Moresby house in Sunderland, and we just can't wait. We went to view it again the other day, and it had the little sold sign on the plot number. The lady went through like all of the stuff with us, like she was like, showed us the plot, and it had like a red line around it, and it was like, this is what you own, and this is yours, and this is how this works, and this is this, and this is that. And I never reached this level of excitement with the other house, but I am just so excited about this. So I've been documenting loads of this journey on TikTok, so definitely go and have a look at Juliet Francis T, and I literally have done a walkthrough of the house we are buying. So if you're nosy, because I am so nosy and I want to see what everyone's houses look like, so if you want to have a look at like the exact house we are buying, it is all on my TikTok, and I've been doing little B&M hauls and other shop hauls showing you what things we're picking up for the house. But yeah, hopefully they said it might be ready end of April or early May latest. So fingers crossed it's not going to be too much longer until we have our own space, our own house, because we are sick to death of living out of parents' houses. Honestly, that night in the hotel was bliss, just getting to like have our own space and not people talking and annoying us. No offense to our families, because these are great, but we just needed some space and just us time, right? So yeah, we have our very own house. If you want to keep up to date with the house journey, definitely head over to my TikTok, because that's where I'll be doing the majority of house updates. But obviously I'm going to keep you guys in the loop as well with how everything with the house is going. And I am going to have a little content room in the house. So it's a 3-bedroom house that we're buying, fully detached, which I think is such a slay queen. So we're going to have a content room, because this sort of smaller bedroom, we don't need a child bedroom. So I don't think, a few people have asked, am I going to move the podcast and do it from the house? I don't know, because obviously I love the studio that we've got here. But I mean, by all means, I might see what the space I'm working with is like. Obviously, if we can have a nice background, things like that, it might be a case of moving it. But I feel like this feels like the Lesbian Lounge. I don't want it to feel like the lesbian small bedroom where we've just shoved ourselves in a little tiny bedroom and closed the door and filmed a podcast. Like, this feels a bit more up level than when I used to film it in my house at home. So I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, it will sound the same to you guys, but it probably will stay here at least for a while, because I love our little studio, and Jill did a great job. And I mean, to be fair, she would probably love to have the space of this side, because we've got another side full of costumes and a side in front full of mirrors and flooring for dance and pageant coaching and everything like that. So she would probably love this extra bit of space. She's very excited for the extra space in the house, and she's also decided she is having a bed divorce from my dad. So my mum is moving into my bedroom, but we're taking the bed with us for the spare bedroom, so she's going to get a new bed and she's going to have a bed divorce. So I guess that's what happens when you get a bit older and you're sick of your partner. But I don't think I could ever, like, I love a cuddle too much, but I guess you'll have cats and dogs to cuddle, and my dad snores quite a lot, so that's another reason why we need to get out of the house and why poor Jill needs a bed divorce. So yeah, it's all exciting, it's all a go. We're going to go sit in a pub after this and just sit and like go through energy providers and find like the best quotes for that and other bits and bobs. We obviously have so much sorted from the last house we were meant to be getting, but there's a few little bits that we need to sort. So it's all just so exciting, and yeah, I can't wait. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump straight on into this week's episode. So this week's question of the week is, what is something you didn't know about sex until dating women? So let's see what you guys are going to say. I feel like we're going to have lots of orgasms. I just feel like men don't know how to create one, right? Like, I have the worst sexual history with men. Like, I think I've been with like 3 men and had like half of actual sex with one because it just felt weird. I was like, ew, like, what are you doing? But yeah, there was one boy one time I remember, he was like, oh, did you come? And I was like, no, like, it doesn't even feel good. LOL. Then there was another boy, and actually, I don't even remember if we did anything or we just slept in bed together. I was a little bit drunk, but I was just like, I didn't want to do anything with him. I would just always look at men and be like, ew. So I guess one thing I learned about sex since dating a woman was that it's something that you can look forward to and something that you can actually enjoy and want to do, not be like, ew, I have to touch your willy, like, ugh, disgusting. So let's see what you guys have said. Okay, there we go. That you can actually have sensational orgasms. Hell yeah. That it can actually feel intimate. Like, sex with men was never bad, but it wasn't like out of this world, and I never felt connected to the guy. Okay, so like, you didn't hate the feeling of the sex, but you never felt that connection that you do with the woman. I understand. It's so much better that I can get turned on by looking at their body. That is a big one, isn't it? Like, Lucy was watching this video of some like male PT this morning, and he was all like jacked and ripped, and some girls would be like, oh my god, and I was just like, ugh, like, men actually repulse me. Like, I would never look at a man's body and be turned on, but you're right, you can look at a woman's body and be turned on. Obsessed. That sex doesn't in fact make you want to rip your skin off afterwards and crawl into a hole. Fair. Like, imagine the thought of like having had a willy inside of you. I would literally need to get like a vaginal deep clean to get any willy reminiscence away from me, because I hate them so much. That woman can be toxic too. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes women can be even crazier. I mean, if I take Lucy's exes, for example, they're all fucking cuckoo Luku. So, shout out if you're listening, Lucy's exes. You're toxic and crazy. It's actually a lot harder. I thought it would be easy, but no, it's a lot of effort. Okay, in terms of what, like, the actual sex, is it because, you know, obviously you don't just have the luxury of pulling down your trousers and having a willy there ready to go. You've got to, like, put the harness on, put the strap on, get into it like that, or harder is in terms of like, I don't know. I'm going to think in terms of like actually getting it on, maybe. I guess the obvious, that lesbian legs can last for hours. Hell yeah, straight sex is like 2 minutes and done. And a lot of the time, as soon as a man comes, they're satisfied, they're happy, and they're like, well, okay, fuck you. Whereas women, it's very much like you want the other person to have a good time before you have a good time. Not like a man who just cares about himself, because men are disgusting little creatures. That orgasms do exist. Yeah, there you go. I mean, a man never made me come, not even fucking close. But women, every damn time. How safe it could feel. Oh, that's lovely. Like, you actually finally feel safe, like you can just enjoy the sex because you're not like, oh, it's a man, scary. How many different ways people with vaginas can orgasm? Okay. I knew there were I knew there were differences in what people liked, but thought, hey, we've all got the same equipment. Wrong. I want to know more on that. What do you mean? How many different ways people with vaginas can orgasm? I'm so intrigued by that. Am I just really dumb? I have heard people come from like nipple stimulation. I know obviously like up the bum, but can you orgasm from that? I don't know. I'm really intrigued by that, so I'm gonna have to do some research. Pornhub? No, I'm joking. That I don't have to fake it. Yeah, that's an obvious one. You know, you don't have to pretend that you've enjoyed it and fake an orgasm. Like, you can actually just have one for real. How great it is going down on a woman. Straight men make it seem like a chore, but I genuinely love it so much. Okay, yeah, obsessed with that. Did anyone watch Bad Boyfriends? Because there was one boy, I think he was called Dan, and it was something about, like, he said about going down on his girlfriend, and he was like, no, I don't like it because it tastes like battery acid. Like, are you fucking for real? It was like, is it the best sex you've ever had? And he was like, no, because of this reason. Like, what a fucking arsehole. And he's like, yeah, I don't really like doing it because it tastes like this and it's long and it's effort, right? Whereas women, like, you love to put the effort in for someone and make somebody have a good time and make it feel good. So I love that for you. Final one, that it can go on and on and on and on. Obsessed. Oh my God. I'm so here for that. Obsessed. Right. Wow. There we go. We've had such a sexual, what's the word? Awakening since we all started dating a woman and ditched men and left them in the past. I had a dream about my ex last night. Shout out, ex, if you're listening. And we were driving somewhere, and I don't know, we had to go like up this hill, then like round, and I don't know why I remember that. But we were talking about something. We were speaking loads about Lucy, and she was really interested about like mine and Lucy's relationship and our life. And I was like, how's your life going? And she said, oh yeah, like I've been chatting to a few girls and boys on Tinder. Now she, to what I know, is a lesbian. And I was like, oh, okay, like, so do you think you'll end up with a man or a woman? And she was like, oh yeah, I think I'll end up with a man. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'd turn her away from being a lesbian. Scared her away. But yeah, shout out, ex, if you're listening, I dreamed about you. And yes, I did tell my girlfriend that. And no, she didn't care because she's not toxic. I was contemplating, I was like, do I tell Lucy that I dreamt about my ex? Like, is that normal? But no, she doesn't care. She's very secure. We're very secure in our relationship. Anyway, shall we do some dilemmas? Yes, so strap in, strap on. Here we go. I recently noticed that a couple of my sex toys had gone missing from my house. A strap-on and a butt plug. Okay. All of my sex toys are kept in a drawer in my bedroom. I've been single for a while and currently live by myself. Then where the fuck have they gone? The only person that has stayed at my place recently was my sister, who's in her final year of college. So I'm pretty sure it has to be my sister that's took the sex toys. Okay, so your sister's been staying around at your house. Maybe like you went away for the weekend and said, listen, like I've got a free house. Do you want to stay there? And all of a sudden your strap-on and your butt plug have gone missing. So it's not just like your bullet vibrator's gone missing, like a strap and a butt plug. Okay. She has had boyfriends and never mentioned being attracted to women. Okay. So your sister, we think, has took a strap-on and a butt plug, but to what we know, she has only ever had boyfriends. She's only ever dated men. She's not interested in women. I mean, maybe she wants to peg a boy with your strap-on, but like, surely you wouldn't do that to your sister, right? You wouldn't be like, oh, I'll just take my sister's strap-on that she's either worn or had inside of her, and I'll then wear it to put inside my boyfriend's arsehole. Like, surely that is not a thought process we're having. Surely we just AnnSummers.com, Love Honey, label this somewhere, and we buy one. Surely. Do you think I should confront her? She's not the shy type and can be a bit of a brat, but at the same time, if she's not comfortable being open about her sexuality, then I don't want to pressure her into talking about it. If she was open about her sexuality, I would have confronted her and giving her a right telling off. What do you think is the best way to handle this situation? Let it go or confront her? Okay, so you're saying if she was openly gay or had, mentioned the fact that she might fancy women, anything like that, you would have just said, bitch, why the fuck have you stole my strap-on and butt plug? Like, that's not on, buy your own, sort it out. But because she hasn't mentioned anything about being gay or being attracted to women, you're like, how do I go about this? Because I don't want to, like, out you. I mean, I was going to say, is there anyone else that it could be? But it can't, because you live alone and the only person who's been in your house is your sister. I mean, there's the possibility she's took it for somebody else. But, like, did she know that they were in that bedside drawer, or was she snooping? Do you know what I mean? Like, was she looking to find something? Was she like, okay, like, I'm sure my sister will have something in here that I can use? Or did she know and she was like, okay, like, I know my sister's got a butt plug, so I'm going to, like, offer the house sit or plant sit or cat sit so I can, like, steal the butt plug and steal the strap on. I think you have to confront her. I mean, I don't think it's like a family group chat matter. Like, hey guys, has anyone seen my butt plug and strap on? Like, I don't know if your mum and dad need to read that message, but maybe you could just message her and be like, hey, like, this is really embarrassing, but, like, when you were staying in the house, you didn't happen to find anything, like, any of my private things, because I can't find them. So I'm thinking, did I leave them out somewhere, and have you, like, put them away somewhere that I just haven't found? Like, maybe instead of, like, just blaming her, be like, oh, I think I must have left them out somewhere. I'm really sorry. I'm really embarrassed that I did that. Did you then, like, just shove them in a cupboard somewhere? And then see what she says. I mean, I guess we could just outright be like, bitch, like, did you take my butt plug and strap on? But, like, are you going to admit to that? Even if you did, like, I would be so embarrassed. But surely, like, I know your sisters, but surely you do not want the butt plug that's been up your sister's bum, up your bum. Like, do you know what I mean? So then I'm thinking, like, has she took it, like, for somebody else? Has she been, like, sleeping with a boy and he's mentioned that, like, he wants to be pegged or something like that, and she's gone, okay, like, I'll see if I can borrow my sister's stuff, instead of, like, having to go out of her way and buying it. It seems maybe like she's a bit embarrassed, and that's why she's took your stuff instead of, like, just going to a shop or ordering online or something like that. But, I mean, you can't just let it go. Like, you are going to be wondering forever, like, where the fuck has this stuff gone? And I mean, strap-ons aren't cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you can probably get really cheap ones, but you don't want a bad quality one that's going to, like, infect your vagina. So, yeah, they're not cheap. You don't want to just have to, like, go and buy a new one. So I feel like we have to say something and, you know, get something out of her. Yeah, like, why would she need to take it? And why hasn't she then put them back? Maybe what you need to do is have her come round and stay again and see if they reappear. You know, see if she's like, okay, brilliant, like, I've got a chance to go back to her house. I'll put them back. She'll never even have realised that they're gone. Maybe you need to invite her back round. Or ask her boyfriend. Oh, she doesn't have a boyfriend, that's the thing. She's had boyfriends, but doesn't have one. Maybe you need to, like, pay a surprise visit to her at college one day, or uni, wherever she's at, and have a look in her bedside drawer and, you know, see if your stuff's in there. But it is some mystery, and I wish you all the luck in the world to find your things. But realistically, even if you get them back, are you then going to want to use that butt plug and that strap on again, knowing that your sister took them and did God knows what with them? I mean, maybe she just wanted to experiment for herself and she's just used them on her, but still, do you then want that inside of you? I'm not sure. Good luck. Please keep us updated. Okay, moving on. I was with my boyfriend for over a year when I met a girl at my new job and slowly started to realise that I was falling in love with her. Cute. A couple of months go by and I made the decision to split up with my boyfriend to explore things with said girl. Then I was realising I was most definitely gay. Okay, so you had a boyfriend, you met a new girl at work, and so you got to a new job, and you were like, okay, I fancy this girl. You're like, I'm going to call it off with my boyfriends. And as you're getting to know this girl, you're realising, like, shit, like, I am definitely gay. These are not friendship feelings. My vagina is wet when I'm around you. Here for it. I love that. Where are we up to? I had a 4-year relationship with this girl. Wow. Which sadly ended amicably. There we go. Took us a while. Amicably. There we go. However, I'm now living life as a very proud gay woman. This all happened around 10 years ago when I was 18. Wow. And to this day, I'm still very much best friends with my ex-boyfriend. Wow, I didn't expect that. And he's saved in my phone as the one who turned me lesbian. Stop it. That is iconic. Does he know he's saved as that on your phone? I mean, probably if you're still besties with him. You know what though? That is like a sign of growth and of like good people. You know, he probably gets a bit of shit from his mates like, haha, you turned your ex Mrs. Gay, and he's probably like, yeah, like, okay, whatever. You know, like, you can still be friends, you can laugh about it, you can have a bit of fun with it, and it didn't have to like ruin everything. And because you were only together for like a year, but you know, still. Anyway, this girl you were with her for 4 years ended amicably. I mean, that's a shame because it was like a cute love story. Like, you met at work, you broke up with your boyfriend, you got together, it was all looking good, and then nothing. But hey, you got a boy best friend out of it, and he's saved in your phone as the one who turned you lesbian. I'm so here for that. Like, genuinely obsessed. Well, guys, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed it, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at thelesbianlounge.podcast. What else can you do? Send us your dilemmas, send us your questions, send us your stories, and I will read them out for you live here on the podcast, even though it's not live, but you know, I'll read them out for you on the podcast. I think that's everything. Make sure you tune in next Thursday for a brand new episode, and I'll speak to you all then. Love you all. Bye.